And in today's video, I want to talk about, well, the fact that the Nintendo Switch has no download play feature. Now, if you don't know what this is, I've covered this in a fair amount of previous videos, and it was a feature for the Nintendo DS, which they also brought to the 3DS, and it was called Download Play, and it was a way of doing multiplayer on the DS platform, but if you only had one cartridge. So I've done it with Tetris, I've done it with Mario Kart, and one person has a cartridge, they load up the game, they want to do download play, and then it looks for the other DS or DSs, and you can play multiplayer on multiple DSs with only one cartridge. And they brought that forward onto the 3DS as well. An absolutely killer feature. You've got this little tiny portable handheld, which is a handheld console, so by its pure definition is just for you, but it allows you to multiplayer wirelessly. That was the other thing, it was wireless, and it was fantastic. I've used it no end of times. I've done Tetris with my son, I've done Tetris with 3 other people, so we've got 4 different generations of DS. So I think we had an original DS, a DSi, a DSi XL I think, and then a 3DS in the mix, and all were playing Tetris against each other via one cartridge, and it worked fantastically. The DS had built-in Wi-Fi. You didn't even need to connect it to your router. This was like an ad hoc kind of Wi-Fi system, and absolutely brilliant. It meant multiplayer on the handheld was superb, and you only needed one cartridge. I'm not talking about online play, I'm talking about local play with more than one person, with more than one console, and the ability to do that with just one cartridge. Some of the games were a little limited, so if you did Mario Kart, the person with the cartridge could have full access to all of the characters, etc. But with the others who were sort of joining, I think you could only play as Shy Guy. But it was still a fantastic way of getting a multiplayer experience on a handheld console. Now, I've searched high and low, and as far as I can tell, now someone correct me if I'm wrong, that Nintendo has removed this feature, this option, this ability for the Nintendo Switch range, and I don't see why. Well, I kind of do and I don't. So the Switch it's a hybrid console, so it's portable and it's available to go on a TV unless you've got a Switch Lite, which is a fully portable console, and you can connect controllers to the Switch. So multiplayer, local multiplayer, is done in a different way. So you have one console and you have multiple Joy-Cons. So if I was to want to play Mario Kart with, I don't know, 4 people in my household, you get a Switch and you connect multiple Joy-Cons to it and you play it that way. But you're all playing on the same screen. So I think that's why Nintendo ditched the download play option. But it would be great if I could load up Mario Kart on my TV with one cartridge, and then, well, my son could load up Mario Kart on his Switch on the TV, and then I join via this sort of download play with my Switch Lite in the same house, but I could play on that console. Now, I'm pretty sure that is a possibility. The Switch Lite is basically just another controller. That's something I've not tried. I don't know if you can connect multiple consoles, but I think I would need a cartridge in to do that, so I could play multiplayer with him, even though it's local multiplayer. I have looked high and low, and I cannot see any games that sort of kind of replicate this DS download option on the Switch. It seems to be something that was fairly unique for that system. I don't remember other game systems doing it. I've done multiplayer on Game Boys, and to do that you would need each console would need a cartridge or a copy of the same game, and a link cable, obviously, in that sort of generation. So I think the DS Download Play was a fairly unique option for the DS platform. Like I said, they did bring it forward to the 3DS as well, but for the Switch, they dropped it. There are other ways of... I've just had a message on the bottom of the screen here. So, Ardesh, thank you for the comment. And it says a Korean game called Captain Ninshi apparently does feature download play. Is that for the Switch? I'll see if I'll confirm if that is for the Switch. There was a couple of games that give you that kind of similar option. That may be the one that I was reading about earlier, and I think it's purely because that is the way the game is designed. It's pretty much a multiplayer game only, but for the vast majority of it, I think the download play option is not there for the Switch because they expect you to local multiplayer in different ways, whether that be on the TV, so you've got your TV and sort of split screen, shall we say, going back to when that before online gaming, when multiplayer meant you had to share a little quarter of the screen with someone. I've done things. I've done split screen gaming on things like Mega Drives and Saturns, that kind of thing. The DS download play really was kind of the only option for the DS. You've got this little device. DS had like a 3-inch screen. You can't do split screen on a 3-inch screen, especially if you're doing 4-way. So Nintendo were correct. Were great in offering this unique kind of way of multiplayer, and I like the fact that, because the one thing that annoys me about split screen, whether that's on a Switch or if you're doing it on an older console, is you can see the other person's screen. There's no hiding. There's no sort of being a bit sneaky. With the DS, you've got this console in front of you. You're seeing yourself, but the person sitting on the other side of the room is also seeing their own things on the screen. And it was great for things like Mario Kart. You couldn't tell where the other person was, like you could do if it was in split screen. So the DS download play, which I have covered in previous videos, if you want to go and watch them, they are on my channel. It was a unique and fantastic way. It was easily the best way to do multiplayer, well, local multiplayer gaming. It was just great. I've played Mario Kart on the DS via download play, and Tetris I've played lots of times on sort of 2 consoles, 4 consoles. It was just a fantastic experience, and you cannot see the other person's screen. That is my main point. Split screen is great. I've done things like, but I'm pretty sure I did Mario Kart on the Cube multiplayer, and it's split screen. You can see the other person. You can see what bonuses, what do you call them? Objects. Yeah, I can't think of the word. That you get from the little square boxes. You can see what they've got. You can see whereabouts on the track they are. You can see where they are in relation to you. With the DS download play option, it's your screen, and the other person is sitting somewhere else. And now, as long as they are, as long as the DS is able to pick it up, you could be in different rooms. So you could do multiplayer with one cartridge on, I think in some games, up to 16 consoles, all sharing some kind of ad hoc Wi-Fi, and all be in various places. It was great. I had absolute hoot playing things like Tetris with my three of my children on different DSs, and it was great. And it is a feature that I really do miss from the Switch. And I can see why, because the Switch has the ability to connect controllers to it, so then each person has their own Joy-Con, but you're all still looking at the same screen. Now, I'm pretty sure that there is, you can do multiplayer, local multiplayer on different Switches, but I think you do need like 2 copies of Mario Kart to do it. But it's just something that, it was such a cool feature on the DS, and they lost it on the Switch. It's gone. And it is a real shame. Like I said, they had it on the DS, so original DS, DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL, and they did bring it to the 3DS, so that's the 3DS, 2DS, 3DS XL, new 3DS, new 3DS XL, and the new 2DS XL, and you could download, play DS games on a 3DS to a DS, and vice versa. And obviously you could do 3DS to 3DS games, but you couldn't do 3DS to regular DS, but that's a bit obvious. Absolutely one of those little bit of gems that you got from Nintendo, a feature that was just amazing and superb, and one that I miss. It really should. There should be some option on the Switch to do it. Now I get it. DS games are tiny. I think the biggest DS cartridge could hold is 64 meg. Someone correct me if I'm not quite right there. But the DS game, the Switch games are huge in comparison anyway. So transferring the game data wirelessly from one Switch to another probably would take a while. When you did it on the DS, it was done in about sort of 20-30 seconds. And what it would do is, you'd put the game in, you'd say you'd want to do a multiplayer download play, and it would then look for the other DS or DSs, and it would send some of the game data wirelessly across to the DS. Not even entirely sure where it would store it, because the DS didn't have any internal storage, well, at least the DS and the DS Lite. So it was held in some memory somewhere, and then you'd be able to play. Now, to do that with the Switch, I mean, I suppose they could give you the option to sort of download a small game that would be permanently on your Switch. It would take a little bit longer, although the Switch Wi-Fi is a lot better. That would be another option that they could do. You say, well, I want to share this game with other Switch users for the use of download, multiplayer play, download play, and then it could shoot some of the game across and you could keep it there. Or they could bring in an option for something on the store, so you could say, well, I don't have Mario Kart, but I want to download the Mario Kart sort of multiplayer, and it would, you would download it onto your Switch, so it was there ready to, well, it was there ready for when you wanted to do download play, but you couldn't use it for anything else except if somebody else had a cartridge. It would just have some of the game files that was needed. That would be another option, but they didn't, and I don't think they will, and the Switch 2 is probably not going to have it either. So it is a feature that has kind of been lost with the demise of the DS and the 3DS consoles, and it was a feature that was fantastic. DS download play, and to a small degree 3DS download play, is not an option on the Switch, and there doesn't really seem to be anything similar on the Switch apart from split screen. If I'm wrong, if there are some games like one of my viewers has just said, yeah, apparently Captain Ninchi, this is a Korean game, that does it, but that is the only thing that I've heard of or I've been told about. So let me know. I hope you enjoy this video. link, like, subscribe, watch my other videos. Enjoy.